And coming here live from Dongmun Traditional Market here on Jeju Island. We are here with, once again, can't believe we're back here with ESL Open Cup Asia Division number 85. I am, of course, your host Yaku of Dizaku, and with me today is El Planificador Diario que recuerda la llave inglesa, like _VIP. How we doing, Light?
What is up, Yahoo? Yes, we are here 2 weeks in a row. We're gonna make a habit out of this. Hopefully, at least until Answer Champ starts up. we'll see. It'll shall see.
Good 3 weeks.
Yep. We'll make it last while we can. And as we are getting into swing of things, thank you so much. Shout out to Garbo Ham in the chat for subscribing. 15 months 15 months in a row. And mate, we're back. We're back, and oh my, mate, we got some Terrans.
That we do. A very much a rarity here when it comes to the ESL Open Cup Asia, but we'll enjoy the TvT while we can here on Lightshade LE. We're in the bottom right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. The red Terran player from the land of Korea, representing Dominaticos Esports, he is Universe.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the Pakistani Terran player. He is blue. Representing himself, it is Raza.
Old mate Raza.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row, man.
Yeah. That's pretty good. I'm hoping that this time it's not... I'm hoping he doesn't have an appointment he has to wake up for in about 3 hours this week.
Yeah, I messaged him, I'm like, yo, 2 weeks in a row? Yo, what's up? And he's like, yeah, my sleep schedule is ruined. It's like, it's awful. And he said, but this time I don't have to go anywhere, so I can actually focus on the event itself.
It's always a bit of an advantage, but yeah, that's summer for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're a student or an engineer or a pro gamer. Everyone's sleep schedule is getting messed up this time.
Yeah. I mean, but at least, since your sleep schedule's messed up, he is here competing in ESL Open Cup Asia, and I believe he can have a pretty deep run today. But first, he's going to get through his opponent, someone who I haven't seen compete in a long time, honestly. I know he has been active laddering, but I haven't seen him too much in events. Mate, it's been a while since we've casted Universe.
It really has. We've been able to cast him quite a bit in the last year. And by last year, I do mean 2020, where he was popping off quite a bit, showed a lot of promise, but I guess he took a step back to focus a lot more on other things.
Yeah, I guess so as well. If I recall, I believe there was a period where he was on the same team as Control for a while. I think they were on Team Dragon or something.
Team Dragon, I believe.
Yeah, it's all coming back.
And the military had to kill esports.
And also, I want to say 2 years ago, I'm pretty sure Universe played in MSO one time, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Yeah.
I want to say he did.
And then he quickly advanced out of being able to do so.
Yeah. He made it to the semifinals or something then, and they was like, sick, 2 weeks from now, I'm going to win the whole thing. And then he made it to Masters 1 afterwards. So
pulled a bit of a Karen, if you will. Feels bad, man. But we'll see how things shape out here. Universe, he is being a little bit aggressive going across the map, but again, he's going up a ramp into Raza, who's already waiting for him.
Yeah, already kind of his attention focused elsewhere, loses one of his Hellions. A terrible trade for our red Terran player. And Raza is not done at all. He still has 2 Hellions alive. He can't continue to push. He's getting a 3rd one as well. But even then, that's not his main focus, as that Liberator from the proxy starport has just about finished up.
Yeah, exactly. It's coming out his head towards the main base. At the same time, Raza is keeping the attention of Universe here at the natural. The Cyclone does come out, and the Cyclone should be enough to push this away. Oh my god, he doesn't even get the Cyclone, and even another Reaper shows up.
Things are starting to look up quite a bit here for Universe, but he cannot have the Cyclone in 2 places at once. Cyclone's getting very low, and it will get taken out. Raza's ground force has been very much neutralized as well, but there is no easy answer to that Liberator. 2 Marines? What are 2 Marines gonna do?
They're gonna die, mate. They're gonna try and chase this down, but that's why it's so huge that the Cyclone was focused down. Without the Cyclone, that was the easy response to this. But now, like, trying to, like, angle your Marines, oh my god, this is so annoying. These Marines also don't have stim either. Like, so much lost mining time.
Yeah, look at all those SCVs that are idle outside the middle line. A couple of Marines even taken out as they push each other into the liberation zone.
The worst
Terrible
friends those Marines were. Yeah, Jesus Christ. The Liberator gets away.
Barely gets away, but it does get away. That's gonna have so much utility later on down the line. Positioning, zoning out tanks, or even just harassing again.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, there's so much potential with this, especially if it does get repaired. Meanwhile, Universe tried to get into the main base. Ooh, loses another Liberator. Does confirm the production at least. You know, confirms that tanks are being produced. But yeah, oh god, it's a rough start for Universe.
It very much is, but we'll see how he's able to recover from this. In TvT, things can definitely snowball, but you can. There's always an opportunity for a comeback when you have enough tanks in the right positions.
Oh yeah, definitely. No! The Raven always gets picked up as well. Jesus, thankfully, Universe was able to notice in time. He pulls the Raven back, keeps it just barely alive.
Pull away this time!
Oh god.
This time I actually targeted a tank and end up bleeding out quite a bit. A couple of Vikings out right now from Raza. This is so risky here for Universe.
Yeah. Oh my god, the army gets spotted by Raza. He turns around, the Vikings are going for the Raven. Uh-oh.
That's a quite siege, but Raza does not care at all about that army. He smells blood in the water and he's going for the throat.
It's one of those things where Raza is racing Universe back home, and Raza gets there first. He sieges up. Ooh, he does lose already one of his tanks. The Raven is coming in, and it looks like Universe, he should be able to clean this up.
Yeah, just barely. Auto turrets really putting in the work. But it costs us 7 SCVs when Universe is already behind. A couple of tanks have started to go down. This is an added advantage of having the air superiority with the Vikings, but surprisingly, Universe does hold, and he's not too far behind.
Yeah, like, even though he lost 7 workers, like, yo, his worker count isn't looking too bad, you know? He has 3 tanks as well, bearing in mind that Raza just threw away 2 of them, so, like, he's not in the worst position, and even the third bases are at around the same time.
He's even getting stim first.
Oh my
god.
god.
Well, I say first, but there's always a potential that Raza goes mech.
No, don't say it. It's
He's actually focusing a lot more on his air army.
Oh god, this is.
Which I mean, I get the idea. You want as many Vikings as you can when it's Marine tank versus Marine tank, but you can't Marine tank without the Marines, can you?
It's true. It's very true. I'm a little bit worried here for Universe. Meanwhile, sorry, Raza, I should say. Meanwhile, Universe, he's finding a really nice position here. He doesn't have anything in the air, though, so this is a little bit precarious. If he's not too careful, he may lose all of this here. Oh boy.
Yeah, he needs to be so careful with his own Vikings. He cannot win a Viking battle. He just needs them to get vision. The Vikings really putting the hurt on top of these tanks. They are so tanky as well, these Vikings are. And Raza going to completely clean this out.
Yeah.
We have just had an endless armies trading against each other. That's TvT for you.
It's one of those things where, mate, you don't need Marine tank when you have a Viking tank, apparently. Because that's literally all that Raz is doing. This is very Neo-esque. Like it's like a very interesting style of mech.
It very much is. We'll see if that rule changes though as Stim gets thrown into the mix.
Exactly. Stim about to finish up here for Universe. Meanwhile, he's still stuck on 2 bases. Raza is already floating his own third and posturing outside the main bases of Universe.
It is so important for him to have this Liberator right now, and so key for Universe to maintain an air superiority. Clearing out as many Vikings as he did earlier on was actually huge for Universe.
Yeah,
and they're about even on the Viking count.
That they are, but all the Vikings aren't here for Raza. They're still on the way, and yeah, it looks like Universe, he's attempting to at least break down this ramp, and you know, we were talking about it earlier. It is in fact mech. Raza is getting 2 armories and another factory. Oh,
Was there ever any doubt Universe is going to be able to clear this out? Viking battles on the ground, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm glad we got. I'm glad I got to see that once at least in my entire time casting StarCraft 2.
It's TvT apparently. At least when Europe and Korea collides, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Oh god, as Raza being a little bit annoying, he does pick up a couple more SCVs again. This is key here. He's doing whatever he can to try and like keep Universe's economy low, because it takes a while to really ramp up your mech, especially when you keep throwing away your tanks and Vikings, right? Like, these are expensive units that take a long time to produce.
They really are. They take a long time to produce. They are very expensive. Raza is doing everything he can to keep Universe back, and also doing everything he can to sneak out a better economy.
Oh yeah. This is
I love to see it.
I love it, mate. We have a ninja base here for old mate Raza. You almost never see something like that. But this is looking kind of scary. We have a bit of a doom drop. Missile turret's on the way, but I don't think they're gonna finish in time.
We'll see how well Universe can boost, papi.
Gotta. He has to go in. He has to go in.
This now. He does go in just before the turrets finish up. Couple of volleys on one of them, but that is not going to be enough. Sieging up the tank over here, which is definitely very precarious, but will allow him to really reciprocate the damage, the marine damage that, RCV damage that Raza has been doing. Another drop into natural, completely decimating the mineral lines. Absolutely what you want to happen when you're the bio player against mech. Last thing that should happen when you're the mech player.
Exactly. He's not just getting the minerals, he also takes down one of the armory, denying the upgrades. Can he even get a second? He's trying to focus it down. He does him. It's going to be so close, but it should. He's going to hold on to it.
Will it burn down? Will it burn down? There's a lot of health there, and Raza is quick under repair. So at the very least, he will have +1 weapons. But it's not going to be enough when you're up against Bio. When you're up against Marine Tank, you kind of expect the Marines to die in one hit anyway.
Yeah, this is very true. This is very true. Like that's one of the things that I guess it's okay for Raza, right? Because he's going for mech. These upgrades aren't the biggest of deals for him, just because of the sheer damage output of tanks. And this ninja base still hasn't been scouted. Like, this is a really nice way for Raza to really close the gap. Universe may be ahead for now, but if the game goes on a little bit longer, then this will really pay off.
It absolutely will. British Universe is trying to prevent that from happening as much as he can. Is that spotter SCV? Oh,
it
no,
is.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, it was patrolling back and forth.
Well, I guess if you don't have spotter Marines, then you may as well. No easy answer for Universe to move into that.
True, very true. I mean, it's a nice way to utilize what he has, right? Because Raza doesn't have marine production, so may as well use some SCVs. Meanwhile, oh god, another massive doom drop. And again, there are kind of these weak areas here for Raza where he just doesn't have vision of the map, and he's skirting all the way around, looking to try and go once again towards the north side of the map.
This time, though, there are turrets in position, but maybe he's not even going for the main. Maybe he's going to try to go for a bit of a flank on that third base.
He could. He very well could. Thankfully, he's focusing his drops here towards the north, and again, he just hasn't even per chance like stumbled upon this base. So again, really nicely done by Raza. Oh my god, we have another drop going out though. And can Raza respond to these in time?
We shall see. The turrets really helping out a ton, especially when you get that Venn diagram of 2 turrets attacking 1. Vikings are starting to come into the mix. The medevacs have been taken out, but you need to maintain that Viking count. Hellions aren't really helping too well. Well, the Vikings start to go down, and while this is all happening, another drop onto the majority of the tanks here of Raza. Universe is trading incredibly well.
Oh yeah, insanely well here as more tanks just keep falling for Raza. He can't afford these losses. Eventually this will be cleaned out, but Universe, he's just trading so much more efficiently here compared to his meching opponent. And he just he can just keep doing this, right? Just keep trading as best as you can. Keep the tank count and the Viking count as low as possible.
He can for a while. Okay, he's starting to move a 4th base into position. I was gonna say,
yeah,
you want to be aggressive, but you don't want to tunnel vision when you're the bio player, right? You want to make sure that you are always one step ahead of your opponent. Make sure that you are as rich as you can be, which right now Raza's still getting away from that ninja.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Universe thinks he's in a better position than he is. He's like, yo, I'm containing the mech player to 3 bases. This is great. If I keep this up, eventually the meching player will run out of resources and starve out. Little does he know that there is a ninja and he still hasn't seen it. So yeah, maybe that's why he's being as aggressive as he is, because he thinks he's like more ahead, when really Raza, like, if you give him time, he will explode.
You would think that if he thinks he's ahead, he'd be less aggressive. But not according to Universe, no.
Not in Korea, mate. No.
Yeah, not in Korea.
Oh boy, alright. Universe is trying to find a way in. He's rotating around. He doesn't want to go head first. I think that's another important thing, is that he hasn't had a head-on engagement yet. He keeps going for these drops. He keeps avoiding the tanks and finding these ways in. And even here, like, there's only one real tank covering this area.
Yeah, the other one not quite in position yet. He's gonna lose that air battle, but that doesn't really matter too much. A ton of turrets are starting to go down. Raza has been able to reposition, but not anywhere close to the front lines. Universe in the back, he's just chipping away at this orbital command.
Yeah, forces the lift off as well. Took out the sensor tower, so if that isn't replaced later, then he can go for another doom job completely unscouted. And again, this isn't enough for Universe to really break his opponent, but again, just trading so well, denying all this mining, and he's going for the drop.
Oh, I'm still not convinced that's the best idea with all these missile turrets. He does have a boost hider. Thankfully, he will back away.
Yeah, he scans. He's like, nah, mate. I'm good. Oh, and Raz is aware of the potential of a drop, so he does reposition his Vikings. Oh, a couple of Hellbats accidentally move on forward. Do get shaved off, and mate, Universe, he has now maxed out.
He wants to go for it. Oh, will it work out? A lot of tanks are on siege, but enough tanks are sieged up. Universe, he's been trading so well for so long, but this time the tables have definitely turned.
Yeah, that was the first massive. Oh my god, the second slip up as well. Universe, please. Like, again, his drops have been so good. You can't just move into this. Like, oh god.
That you really cannot. All that bio eviscerated in the blink of an eye. Now there are some reinforcements coming in here, but I'm not a big fan of this position for Universe. He should try to go for a flank if he really wants to take out that siege line.
Yeah, it's one of those things where his army is so much more maneuverable, right? So you want to try and find another angle, try and find your opponent on siege, a weakened position. Like even here towards the south, there's only 2 real tanks. Maybe he can hit here, maybe he can go for another doom drop, something else, right? And he does finally back off. He doesn't commit to trying to like force himself into the siege up position, thankfully.
Yeah. And we're getting to the point where Raza has a very stable economy, a terrifying economy. With all those mules, he is doubling the mineral income right now of Universe. That is the last thing you want to happen when your opponent's playing mech.
Oh yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, Universe has found a way in. There are a lot of tanks, but all of them are covering this position, and 3 tanks immediately get taken out.
No sense the turret will go down. A lot of bio has been taken out, but overall, I think it was technically more efficient for Universe. Can't afford too many more losses, though.
Oh my god, but the planetary, there's no repair!
There is not a lot of the SUVs that start to get low. Finally, this base gets revealed and should be taken out.
Yeah, it does go down. At the same time, there's a bit of a Hellion run by. It can honestly deal a lot of damage here. But the Vikings actually land on top of all the tanks.
And they are able to take them out. But the Vikings are going to be forfeit once the Marines stim on in. Raza, just like that, lost the aerial superiority again. The Hellions are very much cleaning out this mineral line. Planetary not up in time.
Yeah, 28 SCVs, that's honestly a decent amount. The problem is that Raza just lost 2 bases. 2 entire CCs. Now he's stuck. Now he actually is stuck on 3 base economy. And Raza...
3 quote unquote, because they're very much mined out.
Exactly, and oh my god, Universe is just getting further and further ahead, trading so efficiently. He still has to respect the tank count. Like, the army of Raza is still very threatening.
Yeah, he cannot be impatient here at all, and he cannot cut his army in half and have each of them caught isolated.
Oh my god. Meanwhile, Raza is trying to get through this bottleneck here. Not the best choice. He is forced to siege again. Universe waiting for his opponent to try and force his way through this. Okay, does back off.
Yeah, does decide to go around, try to reciprocate the damage, but Universe is already well prepared. I will say for Universe, it's interesting that he mostly has been just attacking in one angle when it comes to the engagements. They've been working out very well for him because he knows what he can get away with, but yeah, I'm surprised you don't see a couple more flanks here and there.
Man, that's just not his style. Good, but it looks like Raza, he's getting through that bottleneck, like he's getting through the center of the map. Oh god, he's gonna get caught on siege though.
Yeah, maybe that was a bit of a trap. A lot of the tank volleys are hitting off, but nowhere near enough of them. A lot of the other tanks were... Oh no! When the tank sieged up, the rest of the tanks had to go around pathing, please.
Yeah, oh my god, what is this? 5 tanks weren't a part of the fight at all. If they were, then maybe Raza could have taken an amazing engagement here, but unfortunately they weren't where they needed to be. He's still struggling to get past the halfway point over to the Universe's side of the map, and oh my god, more tanks just keep getting picked off.
We've gotten to the point where Universe is fighting up a ramp. He doesn't care. He's got the defender's advantage. He's got the higher army supply. Even throwing down some Liberators now, because he can. He knows the anti-air isn't, the anti-air situation isn't looking too great for old mate Raza.
It really isn't. The Liberators are now coming in and cleaning house. Raza did get his 4th base up and running, thankfully, but again, still stuck on 4 bases. Universe is getting his 6th base behind all of this. He just has so much more money to work with. He's coming on in. Man, there's only 1 tank here. The 0 tanks.
GG is called. Universe. It's gonna take game number 1. That was one hell of a bio versus mech game.
That was intense, mate. I feel like Raza had a pretty strong advantage early on, but those drops did so well for Universe. There was some questionable moments, some questionable engagements straight afterwards, but mate, the drops were good enough, and he just kept expanding, kept trading. Solid.
And they really were. For the longest time in that game, I think we were all kind of worried for Universe there. We're like, oh, this ninja base has got unscouted. It's an orbital 2. Look at how many mules are being thrown down there. The economy is going to be insane. And then Universe just dropped like a madman and prevented that economy from really getting out of hand. The income was amazing at multiple points for Raza, but because he just had to keep remaking his tanks, remaking his buildings, it kind of evened out.
It really did. It really did. That was really well done there by Universe, being able to claw himself back in that. Ooh, and now we'll see where this series takes us. I don't want to say that these guys are where Universe is far ahead skill-wise compared to his opponent. I do think that this really could go either way.
That they could. I think they're very much even, in my humble opinion.
Definitely.
But, I was going to say they're very much even overall. But there was actually like a thread I was looking at the other day, which was like, just because they're even doesn't mean that one player won't be the one who will generally beat the other because of how the different skills dynamics play. This is not a case of that, though, if you ask me. I do agree it can very much go either way.
Yeah, that is fair. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to the ace match, I guess is what I'm getting at. But we'll see as we're getting ready to dive straight into game number 2.
That we are here on Jagannatha, which I'm actually surprised that we see it, but I shouldn't be. This is a TvT, so... Guess they don't mind too much. In the top right-hand corner, map spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner, we have a red Terran player coming out of the land of Korea. He is going to be representing Dominaticus Esports. He is the Dragon Boy Universe.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the Pakistani Terran player himself. He is blue. Oh, he is blue, representing himself. It is old mate Raza.
Formerly known as Razor Blader, if anybody is thinking that name sounds kind of familiar, but he has decided to join the likes of Jim and other players
Eric?
who use Eric.
Yeah.
There we go, Eric, who use their real names as their Jaedong, who use their
Chem?
real names as their usernames. What?
It's his last name.
Chem?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't his name like Miguel or something?
Yeah, it is. Miguel?
I forgot that surname. Sorry. Miguel, yes! But with a W instead of a U.
Exactly, Miguel, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. But yeah, personally, I appreciate it. Just like a bunch of us already called him Raza anyway. Like,
yeah,
we didn't like not necessarily because it was his name, just because it just fits so well with Razor Blade.
Yeah, it really does. Some would have to wonder if that ended up being part of it. I believe his brother actually, Zane, also follows that same thing. IRL name is Zane. Username is Zane.
Yeah. It's quite possible. Oh boy. And well, unfortunately, the other brother is not here, only Raza. But it's always cool to see.
Zane isn't enough of a degenerate.
It's true. How dare he have a regular sleep schedule? What the hell's wrong with him? Shaking my head, Zane. But I always appreciate it whenever I see European players stay up for ESL Open Cup Asia. It isn't an easy thing to do, and it can ruin you in many different ways. And it probably isn't a good idea. But it's always great to see players like Raza, sometimes Bratok, I think there was this one time where Max Fax stayed up and played. Like it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, shout out to Goblin today, who has signed up as well.
Oh, true. Another fellow DGen. Oh god, but yeah, he is in another area of the bracket, so I'm sure we're gonna see, hopefully we do see some of them later on today in the broadcast.
Yes, my eyes are on one player who actually isn't European, but is one of his first times coming back. But we decided to let some of the streams get it. Meanwhile, the Hellion Reaper fight is starting off. Raza in a much better position here. He does have the concave. Universe target firing really well, though. This could go either way, and it will go Universe's way.
Wow.
But just barely.
That was so close. It felt like there was a moment there where Raza was trading a little bit better, and then suddenly it swung in favor of Universe. The target fire, as you were saying, and Universe in the end will clean this up.
He wants that Hellion. Doesn't even care about scouting information anymore.
Yo,
it's about finishing the job.
Yeah, and this Hellion could deal even more damage here. A couple of Marines pop out, but again, he wants the SCV up. It just barely gets into the gas. Oh wait, no, it died.
Yeah, one of them died.
Wow.
I'm so surprised it did. It popped its head out of the gas just as the attack reset. Feels bad.
Feels bad, man. So Universe already coming out on top in the early game. It isn't the biggest trade. It isn't huge. It isn't game ending. But regardless, it is a nice little lead there with the trade. And I'm curious to see what Raza does here.
Yeah, it's a nice little lead, and it does also prevent Raza from having any presence out in the map right now. Both players aren't able to really do that, but it's better for you if that happens than, your opponent having that map control.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Raza hasn't been able to really scout much at all afterwards, as you were saying. Like, without those Reapers, he can't, be out on the map in case a push does come out to be able to scout it early or anything like that. But what I wanted to keep an eye on and see is whether or not Raza would commit to mech play or go bio, because I have seen him play bio tank before in this matchup. Yeah,
I usually see Raza play bio tank, which is why I was kind of surprised that he went mech that game. But he is nothing if not versatile. He was for the longest time before Euthermal started his YouTube channel, my source of builds. I would just steal my builds from Raza at the time called Razor Blader.
Oh god, that he was the go-to for old mate Yaku. Before him it was Fuely.
Yeah. Until he switched to Protoss and retired.
Yeah, that did happen. Oh god. But there we go. Sim is on the way. We will be seeing Biotank from Raza. No more of that mech. And I was gonna say, getting into this game, you were talking about the map, and I was like, yo, mech doesn't feel very good on Jagannatha. Like, there's just this area here outside the main is so droppable, and we saw how Raza was struggling in game number 1 against that.
Oh yeah, it's very droppable. There's plenty of dead air for Liberators to take advantage of. It is going to be tough regardless when it comes to making tanks. Are we going to have a base trade this early on? One of them's going to have to turn around. One of them's going to have to turn around, right?
You say that, it's too late. They got to commit. Here we go. The natural's going to be going down here. Meanwhile, Universe, he's a little bit late towards the natural of Raza. Raza's already taking a lead in this base trade.
And he will already be able to take out that orbital command. 12 SCVs, 15 going down. But now Universe is in position, sieging up his own tanks. He's got a tank in the high ground, preventing Raza from going into his main. But the natural base will surprisingly live.
Yeah, both natural bases will own my... Okay, I almost spoke too soon there, but both bases will survive. Would you have tanks for both players on the high ground? Will either player be able to break in?
Ravens?
Auto turrets.
Get thrown down, very quick on the repair. Universe is, but will it be enough? Barely not enough. And this is going to give Raza some breathing room to go up into that ramp. Universe, meanwhile, he is in crisis management mode. It's an opportunity for him to go into the main base if he utilizes his Ravens, but he is focused on the defense.
Yeah, unfortunately, Universe, he froze up a little bit. You know, it's one of those things where experience is key. You need to be in this situation multiple times to realize what you need to do, and GG gets called.
We are getting that ace match. Which is always great whenever we get a TvT in ESL Open Cup Asia, right? We need it to go on for as long as possible. We need to savor it for as long as we can. But yeah, very different game compared to game number 1.
Yeah, like,
which I very much appreciate.
Both players completely miss each other, and as we saw, you said it, you know, the crisis management of Raza was there, and his opponents wasn't, right? We saw him see the opportunity, notice like, hey, you only have one tank on the high ground, go in with those Ravens immediately. Meanwhile, Universe was still struggling to like comprehend like this, everything that was happening, that was transpiring there in that situation. It's very chaotic.
It very much was. I really like that from Raza. Once he evacuated his natural base, he got the tank sieged up. He knew, I do not need to look at my main base at all for the next couple of seconds, for the next minute or so.
Yeah.
Let me look back at the Universe's main. Let me see what I can get away with. And it worked out much better for him. Universe a little bit panicked there. We're trying to pull the SCVs, repair everything he could as quickly as possible. As you said, just a little bit of chaos. And Raza was a lot more calm on the pressure.
Exactly. And again, that is just something that comes with experience. And Raza, he has been competing at the pro level for a little bit longer compared to Universe, and it's just something that I'm sure the next time that happens to Universe, he will be able to react a little bit better. But here we go, boy. Game 3. It's happening. The ace match.
I am so glad, and it is on 2,000 atmospheres. LE, the years, they keep on coming and they don't stop coming. In the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Terran player coming down for the land of Korea. He is going to be representing Team Dominaticus Esports, as well as All Make Control. He is Universe.
Come back to us, Control. Come back.
Release him from the military. I actually think his... what's it called? It's not delistment. Book out? Question mark. Check out? Question mark. His date where he's not in the military is coming up soon.
And in the bottom left-hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres ALE, we have the Pakistani Terran player. He is blue, representing himself, tying up the series 1-1 in this best of 3. It is Omei Raza.
And we're talking a little bit about experience beforehand, and yeah, I guess it's cool to point out that Universe is very much a quite a bit of a younger player. I believe
Oh
he's
yeah.
19 this year or something like that.
Mhm.
He was on Team Dragon with Control for the longest time, and that was very much a team for up and coming Korean players. Spear was
Mhm.
in there for a while. I'm trying to remember the other members, but
Yeah, there were quite a few of them. It was a much more of a like an amateur team, as you were saying, right? You know, these up and comers, with a lot of potential, and you know, unfortunately, it didn't come to fruition for some players. Like Control, Chance is the other one, right? You know, they
yep.
they ended up, yeah, going off to do their military service and take some time off. But Universe, he's still here, and he has been improving. Like, it's impressive for him. I've been impressed how he's been able to perform here against Raza.
Absolutely. Follow him on. I follow him on Twitter, and every now and then I just see the progress reports. It's like, oh, okay, he got like 300 MMR up since the last month.
Yeah, he usually like takes screenshots and tweets whenever he like reaches a milestone.
Yeah, very cool to see.
Definitely. So make sure to follow them on social medias. But we'll see who comes out on top here. Again, so far nothing crazy going on. We are on 2,000 atmospheres, so we could see mech again, I guess. I'm still kind of against it, but
Yeah,
it's possible.
kind of a mix between Lightshade and Jagannatha, I guess. We got all the dead air for Liberators and whatnot, like Jagannatha, but like Lightshade, we also got a lot of choke points and ramps for tanks to siege up and utilize.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it can be a nightmare to push into some of these locations, but at the same time, the main is a little bit vulnerable. So we'll see. Raza did dive in with 2 Reapers, got 2 SCV kills, got some scouting, but did end up losing them in the end. And now the map control goes in favor of Universe. He's rushing across the map with his 3 Reapers and his 2 Hellions. Gonna be able to try and dive on this
pathing.
Oh.
Yeah, unfortunately, pathing was a little bit awkward here. Universe doesn't have his entire army together. Now we'll see if he decides to go for round 2. Again, he has no map information at all of what Raza is doing, and that's kind of important to note. Raza is getting double Cyclone. Does he have that? Yep, he does have the Starport.
Oh, interesting. Something you don't see too often as, he's diving into the mineral line. He wants to get a couple of these gas mining drones, but the Cyclones get their lock-ons.
And at the very least, this will confirm to Universe, alright, you spent a lot of gas to get these 2 Cyclones. What are you up to, buddy?
Yeah, the answer is more Marine? More Marine.
More Marine, yeah. Marines don't cost gas, so might as well.
Oh god, exactly. He's working on his Raven, he's working on his tank production as well. Again, nothing too crazy going on for now. Both players just slowly macroing up here. Oh, the Hellions actually avoid the Cyclones of Raza.
Oh, he can dip in again.
He does.
Get even more SCV damage.
Oh.
Wheels are looking a little bit vulnerable there. Nice KD8 charge, but these Cyclones are not far behind to hammer down the Hellion Reaper force.
Yeah. I mean, he was able to get another SCV, which is nice, right? Definitely nice, but everything does get cleaned up in the end. And now Raza's going to be moving out here. There's a lot of potential with these Cyclones. You know, if a Raven does move out across the map, he can catch it, I suppose. But again, very ambitious.
Yeah, well, he already spent the gas. He may as well utilize these Cyclones. We see a lot of Terran players, they do end up using the Cyclones as spotters. A couple of others end up being a bit more aggressive, trying to take out a Raven, as you said, or a tank by diving in and sacrificing the Cyclones. Raza not want to do that.
Yeah, and nicely done by Universe, you know, just kind of face checking with a Marine to see what's out there. It does confirm that both Cyclones are waiting outside the front door, so he will be babysitting his Ravens, making sure that nothing slips out and gets caught by those Cyclones.
Yeah, last thing you want is to be behind a Raven or a tank in a Marine tank Raven battle.
Oh yeah, it's disastrous, mate. We talk about it all the time. Like, Ravens are so important, especially in the early stages of TvT. Speaking of, it looks like, yeah, both players are going to be playing that bio tank. They both do start up their stims.
Nice. We're getting a much more classic TvT coming up here.
Ooh,
And thankfully this time, it seems like we're not getting a base trade. Very important scan here for Universe. He knows Raza's pushing out.
that was an insane scan, by the way. That was crazy. He scans because he catches the tail end of that army. He knows that he's on the way. He does reposition his tanks, already sieged up, already waiting for Raza to show up.
And he's got plenty of them. There are a lot of Ravens out here for Raza. A couple of auto turrets, or even disables, can do insanely well. But he has to tangle with those Vikings.
Yeah, that he does. Meanwhile, one of the tanks does get picked off. Nice snipe there by Raza. He does barely keep the Ravens alive, but a couple of order tarts get thrown down. Never mind, the order tarts don't even get a single tank. And the mule for repair.
The repair! It's so key! Raza? Raza? Repair?
Puppy, please.
I think he was trying to
There you go. Oh,
no, okay.
Yeah.
I thought, maybe it was a misclick. Maybe he was trying to scan.
Nah, it's queued up. It's repairing the Raven first. Nicely. I mean, it's a nice cheeky way to do things. Meanwhile, they scan each other, and Universe, he's looking to try and find a better angle for this army. Uh-oh.
Will he be able to get it? He used a lot of his Raven energy earlier on. He doesn't see that the army is moving forward. Universe!
He gives up the high ground. Raza outpositions Universe. Is going to be able to siege up. Oh my god.
For now. As you could argue that Raza's in a bit of a compromised position. Universe's tanks are on siege and they're looking to hammer down, but so many SCVs are already going down. That's the entire mineral line as Raza gets up a third base.
Exactly. The third base gets up and running. That was disastrous there by Universe. To be fair, he did clean up the army, right? And 4 tanks survived. I understand he has to go for a counterattack. What does Raza have at home? He has a single tank. Oh god, needs a little bit more time here. Maybe Universe can find a timing and try and punish this third.
See if he's able to. There's no buffer for that tank either, but I don't think Universe has stim. He does have stim, okay. So he might be able to pounce on a tank and snowball from there, but yeah, no, this is a very paltry force regardless.
Yeah, oh god, we'll see. He's gonna try and get up this ramp. Only 1 tank is covering this position, but the Vikings have landed, so Raza can help buffer that tank. And Universe, he hasn't found it in a way yet.
And he has not. He's trying, but hasn't been able to really reciprocate that damage. Look at the worker disparity.
Yeah, it's huge, mate. It's absolutely massive. Raza could even try and take a 4th base from here if he so wants it, and Universe just can't find a way. He just can't break into the defenses of Raza. He just backs off.
All right. Well, it's going to be very difficult to out macro his opponent from here, but I don't know, maybe if he plays a little bit greedy and Raza stays at home, then there might be some potential.
I mean, I like that we just see a switch immediately for Universe into medevacs. Drops. We were talking about them earlier. Drops are definitely a way to get back into this game. It's still scary just because we have the air superiority here. Like, Raza does have an insane amount of Vikings, so you have to be so careful with how you maneuver, but there's a chance for Universe.
Yeah, there is, especially if he decides to drop in natural ore domain. We were talking about it. There's a lot of dead air on 2,000 atmospheres.
Oh yeah.
Raza already looking to cover his blind spots, but there's still a chance if Universe boosts forward.
Yeah, like the natural is honestly pretty exposed. Like, he could try and get there. The main, there's only 1 missile turret, right? So that's not going to stop a massive doom drop. Like, there are still ways in here. There are still things that can be exploited. And there we go. Universe does pick up 2 full medevacs, is heading out. Unfortunately, it is only 2 medevacs. The other 2 are still on the way. So not a massive doom drop, but a drop nonetheless.
Yeah, well, I guess ideally Universe would be able to multi-prong this as well. But Raza, he's speaking the same language. I like it.
Oh, yeah. They both be speaking Terran, mate. He's sending a drop towards the natural base of Universe. Universe, unlike Raza, doesn't have any sensor towers. Meanwhile, the double drop is sneaking in.
Boost, puppy! That's a lot of dead Marines. Does at least get the Raven and a couple of SCVs, but I highly doubt that's going to be enough. Except for Raza doing a whole ton. Taking out a tank there is actually huge when Universe is at this low of an economy.
Definitely. At the same time, Universe's main army is sitting outside of the natural base of Raza. Does force a cancel on the 4th CC. Honestly, that is pretty big. But he can't really push in any further from here. Oh my god, he has to respect these Vikings. Is forced to land his own.
Yeah, he cannot win that Viking battle. Unsieges and backs away, and important to point out, Universe has equalized quite a bit. He's still behind on the upgrades and a little bit when it comes to tech, but economy-wise, they're both about even.
Yeah, economically, like, especially because he forced a cancel on the 4th, right? Otherwise, the 4th would be done by now, and Raza could potentially be expanding as we speak. Meanwhile, the armies are missing each other again. This time, Universe isn't too far away from his main, so maybe he can turn around, but this is pretty... Oh my god, attack gets freed up for free!
Yeah, that's a massive Marine force coming across the map. His own 4th base gets canceled. He's going for it, but that's a massive siege line.
Yeah, exactly. The siege line is already here. He's trying to break into the 3rd base, but there are defensive structures. Meanwhile, Raza takes out both engineering base. No more upgrades available whatsoever for Universe, and he gets straight into the main.
That he does, completely camping the economy. This is why mass Marines are so valuable in a, I don't want to call it late game TvT, but they're available regardless in a TvT. They're just so mobile.
Exactly.
We avoid everything.
We have a dude trying to get into the main base, but the medevacs, they were low. They get focused down. Only one medevac survives. There are only a handful of tanks left. Sure, Universe does deny the 3rd base, but that is all he can do.
Good game. Well played. Raza is going to take that series 2-1. Now he can feel glad about staying up.
Yeah. GG, well played. Raza does 2-1 Universe. But to be fair, it was a very hard-fought battle, and we mentioned it mid-series. I was still very impressed with how far Universe has come over the past year, you know, to be able to make that series as close as it was.
Absolutely. Very nice back and forth we've had. None of the games were particularly close either. Like, even though in the final game of 2000 Atmospheres, Universe did take a massive hit to its economy, even though Raza took that massive lead early on due to some better decision making, Universe was still able to survive long enough. He is nothing if not tenacious.
Yeah, definitely. So GG, well played. I hope he's not feeling too bad about it. I hope he's happy with his performance to be able to take a game off of Raza. It's very impressive. But we do say goodbye to Universe. He is knocked out of the tournament, and Raza will move on to face his next opponent.
That he will.